Okay, it's 6:30 and our recording is on here, so I'm going to call the August 23rd board meeting of the Thurston Conservation District Board of Supervisors order here. Welcome, everybody. For the record, present here at this point, we have all of our supervisors, Vice Chair Helen Wheatley, Betsy DeGreda, David Ayal, and Doug Rushton. We have our staff members, Sarah Moorhead and Leah Kellogg. We have our legal counsel, Ben Cushman, and we have Hannah Coe from the Department of Ecology, I believe, with us. And I'm TJ Johnson, the chair. So with that, we're going to take a look at the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda as either from board or staff? Sarah?
Yeah, I added, after talking with TJ yesterday, just a little bit of a commission funding update in the governance section. We're not looking for approval of anything tonight, but just a little bit of an update on the approval process for some of the new funding we've been awarded.
Great, thank you for reminding me of that. If that's our only change, I would entertain a motion to, oh, sorry, Helen, go ahead.
Did you pull the minutes from the consent?
I think we have to adopt the agenda as written, and then I'll pull it from consent when we get to that item.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll need a motion to approve our agenda.
I'll motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, I got David as the motion, and I think Helen got the second there. So we'll vote on the agenda. David?
Aye.
Helen?
Aye.
Betsy? Your audio's off, Betsy.
Aye.
And Doug?
Aye.
And chair votes aye, so we've approved our agenda. That does take us to consent. There are currently 4 items on consent. I'm asking that we pull item A off of consent. Those are the minutes from our July 26th work session and meeting, and we'll take those directly after consent. So with that, we'll need a motion on approving our consent agenda, which for the record includes the August financial report, an addendum to the State Conservation Commission engineering contract, and then another addendum for the State Conservation Commission Myers Salmon Recovery Project.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Moved by Betsy, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Doug. Okay, vote on consent. Betsy?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Helen?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. That has been approved. That then takes us to the pulled item here, our minutes. I will need a motion on approving those minutes.
I move to approve the July 26, 2022 board work session and meeting minutes.
Okay, moved by Betsy. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Helen. Okay, voting on that motion then. Betsy?
Aye.
Helen?
Aye.
David?
I'll abstain.
Doug?
Aye.
And I will abstain. As I mentioned earlier, I don't like to vote on minutes that I was not present for the meeting. So that passes with 4 yes and 1 abstention. That then moves us to item 5, public comment. This is the point at which any member of the public can address the board for up to 3 minutes on any topic that's on their mind and that might be relevant to our business. So I don't know that we have any member of the public with us that wishes to comment, but this is the opportunity if in fact there is someone. Public comment is open. Going once. Going twice. I will close public comment. And that moves us to item 6, our partner reports. So first up here, NRCS, we don't have anyone from NRCS here. Is there, or wait, actually we do. That's right, my oversight. We have a brand new NRCS face here. So why don't you introduce yourself and give us an update?
Okay, I'm not sure if y'all can see me. Okay, you
Yes.
can. Perfect. Perfect. My name is Rebecca Anderson Blanca. I'm the new resource conservationist in the Olympia field office. So I'm the new Robin. I've been here about a month and, so I grew up in Olympia and I've been with Texas NRCS for the past 7 years. So new to Washington NRCS, but not to NRCS in general. I'm excited to be here, excited to be home. So yeah, and I look forward to working with everybody. I've met quite a few people from the district already and, you know, just saying to Sarah, everyone is so nice, so smart. So I'm glad to be here. Some updates on what we've been doing in the office. We're just coming up on obligating all of our conservation stewardship program contracts for fiscal year 22. So theoretically, if everything works on the computer side of everything, those will all be obligated in the next week or so. There was a little bit of a hold up there as the computers dropped off the face of the earth for a while. And then the other big thing is that we have got our fiscal year 23 application deadlines for both EQIP and CSP. And both of those will be October the 13th. So anybody knows who might want to get an application in, you know, send them our way. And yeah, that's it for this time, I guess.
Great, thank you. Welcome back to Olympia. It was interesting you said everyone is so nice and so smart here. Are you contrasting that with your experience in Texas?
I mean, everyone's nice in Texas, just in a different way, right? But no, I mean, we were talking about it before the meeting started, like the cooperation is amazing here. I have not experienced something like this between all the different agencies before, and it's really great.
Great, thank you. Well, we're certainly glad to have you back in Olympia and glad to have that position filled and to have a strong partner back at NRCS. So look forward to working with you.
Likewise.
Okay, with that, let's move to item B, the Department of Ecology. The agenda says Elena, but I'm betting Hannah is here in her place to give us an update. So welcome, Hannah.
That is correct. Hello. Yep, I'm filling in for Elena. I am also on the non-point team at Ecology. And this actually works out kind of well. I also cover some of Thurston County. So it's kind of nice to get to pop in and at least say hi to you all virtually. So a brief kind of intro to me, since I haven't met you all before too. I've been with Ecology for about a year. And before that, I worked for Okanagan Conservation District. I was their water quality and riparian planner for a couple years over there. So it's nice. I still get to, you know, kind of be involved in the CD world a little bit, even though it's from a slightly different side. But it's been kind of nice to get to work with a bunch of different CDs and kind of see the similarities and the differences. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. So for Thurston County specifically, I cover the watersheds draining to the Chehalis. And then newly, I'll also be picking up the Deschutes watershed. So mostly working on like TMDL implementation. And yes, I agree. Craig Nelson is fantastic. It was hard to leave, hard to tell Craig that I was going, especially going to Ecology, but yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of me. Hello, it's nice to meet you all. And then for the non-point team updates, we have the water quality grants are now open. They opened August 10th and that closes on October 12th. The workshop for non-point projects is tomorrow, and that's online, it's virtual. So if any staff wanted to attend, you know, you can still just register and pop in. There's no match this year for this grant. And then I'll just say that Ecology staff, you know, myself, the non-point team, but then also our non-point grants coordinator are all available and happy to chat about, you know, project brainstorming, wherever you might be, if y'all are considering an application. Leanne, who is the the coordinator for the non-point grants. She also is a person who scores all of the applications. So she's really helpful to get, early feedback on. She'll, read application drafts, and just can't plug that enough. It's a great resource if you might submit an application this year. And then for our ERTs and our non-point newsletter, there were 4 on the table this month. Elena said she had no updates for hers, and the remaining 3 are mine. 2 are ag related, and both are livestock access to surface water, both properties draining to the Skookumchuck. 1 is already working with your staff. It's kind of been long and ongoing. And then the other one is a little newer, and they've received a TA1 letter. I have not heard back yet. Their deadline is September 10th. So hoping to hear back, but if not, they'll get a TA2. And as always, I put in a plug for the CD. I try as much as I can to kind of, siphon folks to contact CDs. Great resource for them, technical assistance, financial, if available, but, nice for them to feel like there's a non-regulatory person in their corner, so they don't just have to deal with me. So fingers crossed we hear back from that other property soon. And that's all for me, unless there's any questions.
Thank you, Hannah. Could you just clarify what is a TA1 letter and a TA2 letter and what the difference is?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, our TA1 letters are just kind of our first, letting someone know that either we've received an ERTS complaint, a complaint from, the public or whomever, or that we've identified a problem, but that there's a water quality issue on their property. And we kind of, explain what that means, what possible solutions might be. And then we put in contact information for the conservation district and kind of explain that it's a non-regulatory option for them to work with. We give them 30 days to give us a call back, which can be for us to come out and do a site visit, or just to give us a call and say, hey, I'm going to work with the conservation district. And so if they don't respond in that 30-day timeline, our TA2 is a little more firmly worded. We, throw out that there's RCW 9048, there's state law, that you can't pollute state waters. So it's a little firmer, hopefully that'll kind of spur a response from that one.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for being here. Good to meet you. And you're welcome to
Sarah
hang.
had her hand up.
Oh, sorry, you did?
I did. Just a
Sorry,
quick
I didn't see
question.
that. Go ahead.
No problem. Hannah, could you speak to the recent public comment period around the CAFO permit reissuance? There's been a lot of communication in the community that's come back around that. Could you share a little bit more about where that's at and what that process is looking for?
Yeah, I think, it's just like any, standard comment process, looking for feedback from the community. The hope is that, it'll be a broad spectrum of, folks who do own, livestock or anything that would fall under a CAFO, but then also, any stakeholders. I think the feedback that has come back has been skewed in the opposite direction. I don't think that there's been a whole lot of feedback actually from, dairy and non-dairy operators, just looking kind of at the map of, locations where comments came in from. But yeah, just an opportunity to get feedback for the CAFO team to kind of incorporate that. I imagine, I haven't looked at any of the comments myself, but I'm sure that they got something back from, like Northwest Environmental Advocates and a lot of that type. I'm sure, as well as, cattlemen and dairy associations. And I'm not sure exactly where they're at now and what next steps are, but they have seen, I think someone on the CAFO team received a flyer related to CAFO comment period that went out. Yeah. And so they are aware of that. I think they're working on some talking points to go out about that. And I'm not sure exactly where all of that stands, but it's definitely they still have a long ways to go, I think.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Because certainly there has been a lot of community uproar in certain areas around that. And we always want to make sure we're sharing accurate information to the community. We've also done some review of that and have some questions and concerns. And we were not notified about the comment period until the last couple of hours of that period, or it didn't come across our plate. So we didn't submit a formal comment, but would love to help, offer some feedback around, agricultural management and some of the other BMPs that we recommend as part of that process that should be taken into consideration to make sure everything is harmonious.
Yes.
So that would be great. If there's an opportunity, please do keep us in the loop.
Yes, absolutely, I will. And I also can, when they get kind of their talking points together, I can share that out too, just so you know what's being said. And then if, as a result of a feedback that has come back, and maybe depending on if they're able to keep moving forward, or if things step back again, which we just never know with permits. If there is another opportunity for feedback, I'll definitely make sure that we let you know. Yeah, I'm really sorry that you guys didn't know about that in time. You guys are the perfect group to be providing feedback on some of those BMPs that were included. So that's really a bummer.
Well, we'll share that information anyway, and would love for that to make it into the mix.
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah.
And sorry, I have one last thing. Do you have the contact information for the CAFO permit writer, just in case, since you're one of the county that got that whole mailer and everything, if you wanted to reach out to her or anything, I can pop that in the chat too.
Sure, feel free. And that way everybody who's here has access if they'd like it.
Okay, great.
Hannah.
Thanks for bringing that up, Sarah, and thank you again, Hannah, for being here.
Thank you.
That moves us on to, well, next on our agenda is Gene Fike from the Conservation Commission, but Gene's not here tonight, so I guess we don't have an update this month. So we'll move then to NACD, WACD and NACD. Doug.
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment on two things. One is the commission did put out some budget numbers, which it looks like we're going to talk about that at 7B. Ryan, I was going to say Mello, Ryan Bay from the commission, from WACD sent out some information on that. And two, I'd suggest, Hannah, that y'all have a webinar to let people know what's going on, maybe at the start of the process for the future. And getting to actual subject, WACD and NACD, I did submit a report on that. If there are no questions there, we'll move along and just comment on the Pacific meeting. That's the Southwest area meeting. It's labeled at the end of this agenda as a commission meeting. That's actually a WACD meeting.
Betsy, I saw a hand there that you had up.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Doug if he could, first of all, I just want to say the details in your report are very readable and useful information.
Good.
But I wanted you to elaborate more about the Forest Bank, I think it was called, that the U.S. Forest Service is.
Yeah, that was, we had a NACD Forestry Committee meeting with the National Association of State Foresters plus NRCS and the Forest Service in Columbus, Ohio, 3 weeks ago, which I will point out that is not TJ's favorite city. And that was just a passing remark that somebody from the Forest Service made. And I'd never heard of that before. And I thought it was an interesting concept that we might want to explore and we might want to push a little bit.
So what does it mean?
Basically like firewood.
Okay.
Keep firewood like we do for food banks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a volunteer one like that I saw in Medford, Oregon.
Don't the Lions or somebody do that here in
Yeah,
Thurston?
the Kiwanis did that. I don't know if they still do, but they had a similar program here in Thurston County for many years.
Yeah, to me, it's kind of like a gleaning program, help people that can't afford it or can't get to it.
Okay, great, thanks.
You're welcome. I will point out that it's 104 degrees in Scottsdale, Arizona right now.
Well, I hope you're in the air conditioning, Doug.
I am. Thanks for asking.
Okay,
And
thank you for the report. We'll move then to item 7, governance. The first item here is this ongoing discussion about where we do our banking and how we might find a better place to do our banking that's more aligned with our values around climate change and other issues. So we had in our packets tonight quite a bit of information. We had a matrix that showed the staff rankings and some information about the various options we have before us. And then quite a bit of detail from Beneficial State Bank, which seems to be the first choice from our staff. So the intention here is that we make a decision tonight, hopefully, and move on. Sarah, is there anything you want to add by way of context to that?
I just wanted to clarify at the July meeting, Beneficial State Bank was the top bank of interest from the board members that were present. Any decision making was tabled to this meeting when the full board could weigh in on that. There was a request from the board at that time to get some more information about their environmentally friendly practices and social justice components of the work that they do. And so that's that much longer document that you see in there. I also, there was an action item for me to report on at this meeting about any additional considerations or impacts to the district around transitioning our banks. And so I did have a meeting with our finance team. They're definitely, there are some pros for sure. They're very excited. Beneficial State Bank has an excellent climate friendly policy. They have extremely great customer service. They have a singularly assigned representative to help us with all of our transactions and switching over. And any sort of technical support or otherwise. It will take some work on our end when we do make the transition. We have a lot of automated payments and deposits, so we'll need to go through the process of reauthorizing those in different ways with different bank accounts. The board will need to go through that re-verification process of authorized signers with whatever Beneficial State Bank's processes are. We are going to do some additional research to ensure that as an electronic only bank, we have all of our good best practices in place for things like signing checks, which might transition to e-checks. So those types of things we need to clear with Beneficial's process along with the state auditor's office. So yeah, if this is the direction that the board would like to go, staff will likely lay out a stepwise process over a couple of months to make any such transition take place. So the last thing I'll mention too is there is a 1% cash back piece with their lines of credit. And so there will be some additional research we'll do with the state auditor's office around public entities that have that type of association with their lines of credit. There may be some additional policies or procedures that the district needs to develop regarding that piece. So we've synthesized it well, and it seems like it's still going to be a good fit. There's just some additional points of research and development we'll need to do along the way.
Okay, so kick it to the board here. Comments, questions, or motions on this topic?
I would just like to say that I really strongly support it. I've worked with this bank before, and their environmental attitudes and social equity and diversity and all that just it's just really right out front. I like that we can put our money somewhere and it'll be doing good things. We don't have, with no effort, our money's being used to further our goals.
Given that great talk there, Betsy, you would like to make a motion on this topic?
If there are no more comments, sure. I move to approve.
Doug had his hand up.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry, Doug.
You know, if I could remember to take it off mute, that would be really nice. Sorry. I concur with what Betsy just said. It seems like a really good fit for our values. And I'd like to commend staff for the good work to set us up to make a decision on this. I do have one question though. So 6 months, we say we make the change, 6 months, 9 months out, we find out like these guys aren't all they're touted to be and we need to get out of this. Is there a penalty for that? I mean, I don't foresee that, but if we had to, would there be a penalty of any sort? Or do you
Not that
know?
not that we're aware of, but that's certainly something that we can include in our research.
Okay.
Can't imagine why. Are you sort of thinking more like when you invest in mutual funds and things like that, there's a penalty for not leaving your money in for a certain length of time?
No, different banks have different processes, and with the process of another effort we have going on that's going sideways, it makes me think about this kind of stuff.
I see.
I would second the motion.
Well, let's clarify for the record. Go ahead and state your motion again, Betsy.
I move that we transition our banking to beneficial bank.
Okay. And Doug, you're the second on that motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, we will move to a vote on the motion to transfer banking to Beneficial State Bank. Betsy,
Aye.
Doug,
Hi.
Ellen,
Aye.
David,
Aye.
can you give me a thumbs up? Because I didn't catch your audio there, David. Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you. And I vote aye as well. And I would just also like to thank all of you. When I was thinking about one of the things I wanted to achieve as a member of this board, getting away from US Bank, big banks, Wells Fargo, that was high on my list. So I really appreciate that this is the kind of organization where I can bring that idea forward and the staff and the board can all embrace it and we can do what good research we need to do and make a decision that really does reinforce our values. And I think it really is it'll be a story worth telling to our community as well as we continue to get deeper in climate change work over the years. So thanks everyone for being open and for caring enough to want to do this. I appreciate that. With that, we'll move to the next item, the WSCC funding update. I think I saw when Doug mentioned the budget proposal from the commission, Sarah was nodding her head the other way. And I think the original intention here was not about the commission's budget proposal. It was some other things, but if we want to twist that into here, we certainly can. But let's start with what you wanted to talk about, Sarah. And then if we want to go further into legislative budget proposal, we can do that.
Sure, we can certainly make this a hybrid update. That's a great plan. This update was focused on, again, I've been warning of money raining from the commission sky. Staff has put in a lot of proposals over the last month or now 2 months for a lot of funding that's available for this fiscal year and ideally is setting us up for the next biennium's worth of work. And we've been very successful at getting those proposals funded. So this was a section on the agenda to give some updates on that. We were successful in receiving some additional funding for our CREP program. We now can fund sort of a full-time, full-force position for that riparian restoration program. It's one of our best riparian restoration programs that also provides some compensation for producers. It's just a very attractive setup. So we have some additional funding that came as an amendment through the commission, which isn't a document that requires approval. They just sort of add additional funding to your existing approved contract. So we have an additional $48,000 coming into that for a lot of targeted focused outreach and contract development for that program. So that's very exciting. We've been able to do a lot of our large scale restoration work and riparian work with that program. The other two pieces are additional salmon recovery projects. We approved one of those tonight via consent for the Myers project. The other two are a little bit bigger in focus and scope. And some of them are focused on doing a lot of outreach in the Chehalis Basin, also supporting our restoration crew that we have, doing a lot of site prep, invasive removal, and plantings on a variety of smaller properties within the basin as well. So trying to serve both ends, both the small and the large project needs and landowners with riparian restoration work. Those we haven't received the official confirmation yet. Those may come as an addendum for approval in September. Those also may come as an amendment to this salmon recovery project addendum that we received tonight. Either way, I'll keep the board updated on how those funds come in, what the scopes of work are associated with that, and where those points of approval are needed. So that was really exciting that staff really buckled down, put in a ton of work this month and the end of last month on putting in applications, and we've been very successful at getting those. We're still doing some of the tallying and totaling of how many applications, how much is the total funding for that. But we'll get a good breakdown of that to you before next month's meeting so that you can sort of see that. Because I'm very proud of our team. I will just say that I'm very proud of our team for taking these opportunities and being able to make good use of this funding on the ground in our community, and also demonstrate, you know, a little bit broader than that, the power of voluntary incentive-based stewardship. So I'll stop there. It's definitely an exciting time, and we're building additional project development for the next biennium. So this is a good time to transition into that update. I did participate in sort of a targeted focus group on writing one of our conservation technical assistance budget package proposal with folks at the commission and others from districts and WACD. This is really our bread and butter technical assistance funding pool. The commission is requesting 10 million. And the overall need from districts is over 45 million. So it's definitely not as much as is needed, but it's more than we've had in the past. That is the one that I've participated in the most. Doug, I did not see the total proposed budget information that you've seen. So if you'd like to share more about that, that would be great.
What I will do is forward on the email that Ryan Bay sent out a couple days ago. I've been kind of preoccupied with this other group for the last couple of days.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah, for that update, and Doug for the information sharing yet to come. With that, we'll move to item 7C, take a look at what we're going to be up to next month. Do we have a draft to put up on the screen here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Betsy has a question.
I don't know where it fits, and forgive me if I'm having a memory lapse, but the thing about Beckwith, we didn't need to vote on that. I don't recall that we did vote on it.
I don't think we need to vote on that because we have a clause in our contract that lets us out of that already, and we approved the contract, so it's a management decision.
Okay.
On board feedback.
Just wanted to make sure something didn't slip by.
Yeah, thank you. Good clarification. Okay, so here's our topic list, draft topic list for September now up in front of us here. There we go. I think there's a couple other things I picked up from our earlier discussion we probably want to add there, which is WACD resolutions. And also, oh, we have the CEC. Yeah, next steps in the CEC. So yeah, I guess it's just adding that one. Anything else for the work session list that folks want to add? Okay. If not, let's take a look at the meeting, board meeting draft. The standard agenda, it looks like, thus far. Assuming we have some direction on the resolutions for WACD coming out of our discussion, we might want to put a placeholder under governance so we can actually take an action on resolutions. Anything else on this? Okay, then this will serve as our draft agenda with certainly lots of time to modify it between now and September. That takes us, I think, to the last item on our agenda tonight, which is to adjourn. I will just quick one thing before we do that. We didn't mention in the work session that we have finalized the annual staff board picnic. And you probably all saw the email that went out on that. It's going to be on September 20th here at Urban Futures Farm, which we're excited to host you all again. Sarah, has there been any sort of sign up that's gone out yet in terms of who's going to be signing up to bring what?
No, that has not gone out yet.
Okay, I was just wondering if I had missed it personally, so.
No, you have not, but we will make sure to get that out by the end of the month so that folks have plenty of time to plan and prepare.
Great, looking forward to hosting you all here next month for that. Oh.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking maybe under governance, we want to, if we have any ideas for legislation, I mean, that would be a little late in the process, but we might want to bring that up.
Doug, how about if we bring that up in discussion at our work session?
Okay, sure.
Put it as a more informal work session topic. 2023 legislative issues, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of any right off, but we have more brains than just mine working on this stuff.
Okay. Thank you. So with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting.
A motion to adjourn.
Moved by David. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
By Betsy. Okay, vote on the motion to adjourn. David?
Aye.
Betsy?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Ellen?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. We are adjourned. For the record, it's 7:09. Good job, everybody. And we'll see you here at the farm on September 20th, I guess.
Yeah, and thanks for your indulgence of me being late and missing the work session. The session I was in here went longer than it was supposed to.
Things happen.
Yep.
Okay, good night, everybody.